Hey. Hey. Yeah, we're ready. I mean, ridiculously ready for a 10-minute daily reality check, maybe 12 minutes today. Who knows? We might go a little longer because we're going to talk about something here that we have never touched before. Eddie Palmer, Greg is here in the house also, literally in the house, because this is my house. Most people say in the house and they're lying because it's a studio. If you know somebody who's got a great studio and you'd like to have me in your studio, then I strongly would suggest you email me. If you want to give me a studio, I'm more than willing to be given a studio because I would have fun in it. But today we're not talking about studios or anything. We're actually not going to talk about texting because that was yesterday. We are going to talk about the male side of single parenting because I think we need to use the word single in there. Single parenting is an interesting ride, to be honest with you. It's fucking difficult. And it's interesting and it's also very rewarding in a lot of ways. There's a lot of ups and downs because one of my biggest things is you can't control what's spoken about in the other house. You have no idea what you're getting whenever you pick up your kids because you have no idea what they were witnessing the last few days between visits, right? If you have no idea what their mom is saying, what the mom's boyfriend might be saying, what might be going down, what conversations the mom might be having in front of her friends, right? Because kids overhear everything. And you can literally hear when you pick your kid up the things that other parents said to them because they're using words that don't exactly fit their goofy young behavior, so you can pick things up and it's interesting. I've got a Zen-like approach. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. It's out of my control. I have no idea what my daughter witnesses, what happens, and whether it's good, bad, amazing, whatever it might be, right? Because it's all going to be everything. There's going to be amazing stuff that she'll witness. There'll be some stuff she'll witness. There'll be some bad stuff she witnesses because that's life. Nobody's perfect. But it's definitely a process because you have to get so zen with it and really say to yourself, you know what? There is nothing I can do about this. There really is nothing I can do about this at all. How do you deal with it? Because your kids, that's my attitude on it, having a younger daughter. You've got older daughters, right? How do you deal with that, to really get more zen with parenting and you don't see your daughters as much. So how do you really kind of...
For me, it's simple. You show up. You show up when they ask you to do things, when they want you to do, help them out with school, go to parent-teacher conferences, help them pick out a college, help Hope try to pursue her dream of, somehow being in theater. Little things when you're asked to do them, such as just, hey, can you call this person or try to reach out to this group or help with my application, seem to be the things that have mattered for me, and especially to build consistency so that they know they can depend on me if they call. So that leads to a level of respect where we have nothing but honesty flowing between us, so that if there are some difficult situations to come up, every single time I've been very fortunate that my daughters have asked before they did something stupid, and also consulted me on a lot of different decisions they were trying to make.
It's interesting because it's such a journey because you make a decision. I do not want to be with this woman. And then you go through that whole process of separating from your kid. And you get all these pangs and you feel guilty and, there's all these different emotions you feel. And you missed your kid. And then you think to yourself, well, I'm missing moments. But you're not missing moments because you're actually being more present for the moments you have. So you may miss the day-to-day, but when you're with them, it's really special. Taking my daughter yesterday, Dave and Buster's, she was running all around like circles. She was having fun. She came on a crutch because she said she sprained her ankle. But the minute she got to Dave and Buster's, she was running 100 miles an hour. It was fun. She was crawling all over me. She was happy. She made me spin her. She made me jump. She made me jump on my feet. She was excited to see me. She was excited to be with me because she hasn't seen me in a week, which is really ridiculous. She hadn't seen me in a week. And she was really excited and really happy and just joyous and having fun. And those are the moments that you have by being so present in those moments, by connecting and just looking at this beautiful being and just saying, God, you just bring me so much joy. And you give it to them. And then you might bring them back to their moms or whatever it might be. And the mom might go, mom's like, they might want quantity, and, they have all these different moments, but it's all quantity. And I think the thing is, if you're not seeing your kid as much, you have to give them 100%. Because that's what they're going to remember, how present you are and how much that you loved them that afternoon, you know, and how they communicate and they could tell you and talk about anything. I mean, you've seen many fucking single parents out there.
Absolutely. My sister being one and helping to help raise even my niece and nephew, taking my nephew to get his first haircuts and things of that nature. There's always an inconsistency of what one parent does to the other, or even if the grandparents involved or an uncle or someone else is help raising. Because the way I had approached parenting and picking the kids up from daycare and snacks and things, a lot different from the other one. And what I think would be good if I'm not going to take them to McDonald's and because I want them to have a healthier option, but mom does, you see the cause and effects of the things that happen from that. And then you see the good parenting. Okay, let's do homework first, then we watch TV. Or, the vice versa, stick them with the iPad as long as they're quiet, we'll get everything else sorted out later. It's always different things you see that the approaches make you go, well, that's not necessarily it. And then the clash of the approaches give one parent a disadvantage who has less time, because then they have, and something I always talk to Dave about, and other parents, it's like, you don't have the time you have with some kids. So if your kid's acting up, do you discipline them, and put them in their room for a day, or do you spend time with them at Disney World because that's all you got? So the complexities of the parenting situation are very deep, and they run deep for single parents, and it's an issue, and it takes great communication on both sides. The single parents I've seen very successful, training a lot of women and men and divorcees, the ones who communicate very well and they discipline on the same level together. So everything's, synchronized.
It's a journey. I mean, every day is a journey. I mean, you said something, Greg, to me is just, when Layla was going through some issues, you were like telling me, take the time to do things that make you happy. Eddie, you said the same exact thing to me as well. She will turn around, because both of you guys were my advisors. She'll turn around, and when she turns around, she'll want to be with you again, because what she's going through is whatever she's going through. And it's just stages in life. So take the time and build yourself back up. Take your time and really connect to yourself, because that was a tough time. I mean, there was one night when I walked in here, and it was a rough time at her mom's house. The last thing I want to do is hang out with her at her mom's house. That's just not my time. I don't really want to be there. This is not my family. And I respect the fact that that's mom's house with her. So I don't need to be there, right? So I come back here, and I'm not a crier at all. I mean, it takes a lot for me to cry. I mean, I could tear up on an airplane when I'm watching a movie, and then when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, I get tears when whoever wins the Super Bowl, because I like that, fucking gladiator moment, right?
I understand.
So I came back here, and Layla, wasn't going to sleep over, and, blah, 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 and she's telling me she hated me, and I came back here, and I literally fell to my knees and sobbed for, 10 seconds. I'm like a Northern California sea lion, just this terrible. It was really bad. And I just looked at her room, because the room is this magical fucking place that I built for her. I mean, I put a lot of love and care into that room, and it was rough. And both of you guys really supported me in that part of my journey, because you kept saying, don't worry about it. She'll turn around. She'll turn around. She's going through something. She'll turn around. I mean, I went to therapists. I mean, I got answers. I wanted to find answers. So that was a really rough time. But you always said, just show up. I think there was something you always said, and I don't remember the exact thing, but you always said, just show up and love her.
Just show up and smother her and just let her know. Again, the most important thing, I think, for a dad is their kids need to know no matter what, they're going to be there for them. And just by you showing up and spending time with your daughter and watching how she interacted with you, even though it was a short time, not as much time as you want it to be right now. That's why I say, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Because I saw the way she was around you. And you're just doing the best you can and reaching out and spending the time when you can get it. And that's important. Well,
yeah, and that's why it was so important for both of you to see that, because you've both been my supporters and stuff. And it was good to see, when you had dinner with us at Urban Plates the week before, Layla requested it. Layla requested, hanging out with you. She forgot. And then she saw you that one day, and she kept asking, is Eddie going to have dinner with us? Is Eddie going to have dinner with us? And she likes to have dinner with my friends. It's interesting. She, definitely does. And you guys both saw, you saw stuff too. You just got back from the mall where she suckered me into things. But you both saw, you both saw something.
Yeah, it's called love. It's called a genuine, when your father takes time to spend with a child, and there's always a genuineness. You can always see when two parents can walk into a room, and the parent who spent time caring, and that's why it's normally, you see that normally with women, because women are normally doing the hair and putting the clothes on and changing diapers a lot more, guys out making the money. That affection that, I always commend Dave on the small things he does for his daughter. The let's sit on the floor, even though he's had some spinal issues in his lumbar and this and that, and uncomfortable positions, and play for hours on end. When I'm completely, and then the next week we got to completely derail our training to do it a different way, because that 30 minutes on the floor with his daughter in that awkward position, tearing his body up, was everything. Even though the next week he's gonna pay for it, because it brought them closer. So that when they, so in the down and the up times, she knows who's really there for him. Dad's always going to be there no matter what. And she always knows that. Even if Dave doesn't always know that, she knows that. She's learned that. He's learned that part of it. And that's the beauty of all of this.
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting because you're right. I would sacrifice body. Now yesterday I took her on my shoulders, and we had, took her on my shoulders twice. We had the best workout in a long time. Yeah. So, it's also, once you blow a lumbar, you got to really build up that core again. And that's what I've done. I've built up that core, so I'm feeling good. But it's like I'm getting down in the trenches with her. Yeah. And I'm showing her, hey, look, I love you. I may not say it 100 times, a day, because it's just
actions speak louder.
That's not my style. Never been my style. Even in love relationships with a woman, I'm like every few days. I'm like, hey, I love you. But I say it when I mean it. I say it in other things. I'd rather do things for people. I'd rather be there. I'd rather show up. And it was interesting with Layla, because that's all I'm doing now is just showing up. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from having that relationship that I want with her, no matter what forces I'm up against. Anyway, that was a little bit of a reveal tonight, So I appreciate you being there, sharing it. Eddie, where can they reach you?
EddiePalmer12@gmail.com. We'll go from there.
And Greg, man, if anybody's single and they want to learn how to be a functional single parent, they'll reach out to me, david@davidwygant.com, and they can set up a coaching session with you, because I think that would really benefit them a lot, because it's a journey, because you went from being full-time to having them not as much, and you gotta really take in and just realize that showing up and just being love and giving love, and do it for your girlfriend too, and do it for your boyfriend too, and maybe you'll have a much better relationship. Anyway, tomorrow I promise not to get as warm and mushy, because I just don't want that getting out there that I got some soft spot or something. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. 10-minute daily reality check.